Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shenandoah University Arena here in beautiful Winchester, Virginia. We have quite the series on our hands tonight. A semifinal matchup for our Rocket League squad here in Division 4 NECC against Saginaw Valley State, the number 2 seed here tonight versus the number 3 seed in Shenandoah. We will just have to wait and see how this one plays out. And fun about this one is a best of 7 instead of best of 5s. Welcome everyone. I am Ben Kincaid, joined by Gavin Eldridge. Gavin, how are we feeling?
I'm feeling great, Ben. What about yourself?
I am ecstatic. I'm very excited to jump into this semifinals. I think it's going to be a very, very close matchup, right? A number 2 seed versus number 3 seed, very close in skill level. So we'll have to see how this one plays out. We have a little bit of a longer series here, like I mentioned, the best of 7 instead of the best of 5. So definitely a lot of room for adjustment later on in this series. But hey, there might not need to be a whole lot of adjusting. Maybe it is a clean sweep either direction. We'll just have to see what happens here, but very excited to get this one underway.
Yeah, and best of 7 especially, you got to think about the mental toll that it takes on you. You know, you have one more extra game to win, but also a lot more chances to lose and still come out with the victory. So, like, for Shenandoah, who's a very slow-started team, like, this is a little bit worrying to be in a best of 7 scenario where you can lose that first game and now you have to regain and actually win 4 games as opposed to 3. So it's a pretty big change, even though it's only 2 more games.
No, yeah, it's definitely something that can kind of throw a wrench into things with that momentum game specifically, right? When you have that momentum in game 1, game 2, you only have 1 more left. But if you drop that momentum in a game 3, right, you have to then, okay, I still need 2 more games. They now need 3. The momentum's kind of shifted away from us. So there is kind of a little battle when it comes to momentum in that sense, but we will just kind of play it by ear here at Shenandoah, see what happens with that one. I do want to touch on Saginaw State a little bit here. Very, very strong team in quarterfinals. They went 3-1 win against the Marywood to punch their ticket to this semifinals. Very, very close series. I believe a lot of those games were 3-2, 3-1, 2-1 kind of scenarios. Very close in the goal scoring. The only game they lost was that kind of one blowout. I believe it was like a 4-0 if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong if our producers want to fact check that one. We'll have to just wait and see. But yeah, it was a very, very close series all around. So we'll have to see if they can keep it close against Shenandoah, which we know is a very, very fast-paced team.
Yeah, and I want to talk about seeding specifically because, yes, Shenandoah is the 3 seed and they are the 2nd seed, but that's kind of construed because if you talk to anyone on the Rocket team or our coach, everyone kind of unanimously agrees that our side, our division, like the East side, I believe it was definitively much stronger in terms of average rank and stuff. I believe the last place team in our division is higher than the 3rd ranked or 4th ranked seed in the other division. So the seeding, yes, it looks like Shenandoah is the underdogs, but as we talked to the team before, or at least I talked to them before, they are all extremely confident. They're feeling like this should be not necessarily an easy win, but like not so much stress that they need to perform.
No, yeah, for sure. This is definitely something that the SU squad is definitely confident going into. They know that they can win this game, and they think they should win this game, right? So we'll have to see if that translates onto the field, because sometimes you can have all the confidence in the world, and then game 1 happens, you're like, oh my goodness, what do I do? What am I supposed to do? Because suddenly the confidence is gone, right? So if they come out in a game 1 swing, either side, either direction, right, if they can snowball that into more and more victories, we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty close matchup. Very excited to get this one underway.
Yeah, and confidence can either kill you or it can elevate you past anything else. Obviously it just all depends on how you interpret it. If you lose that first game, maybe you're kind of doubting yourself, like, oh man, my confidence just made me play worse. But maybe it's because they had more enthusiasm going into the game. They just assumed, oh, this team is better than me, so I have to work harder. So then you just have to double back and continue to work for it. But regardless of how you look at it, if you are so confident going into the series and you lose the first game or you drop a few games, you really have a big battle to battle against yourself, like mentally and internally of, I have to get back, I have to regain, I am better than this team, or I am competitive in this game, in the semifinal match, whatever you want to say it is. It's just really, really pivotal to not be so confident that it detriments you.
Yeah, no, for sure. And you might be wondering, hey, what's on our screen right now? That's not Rocket League. Yeah, that's our Smash Bros team that we're taking a little look into some, I guess this is a practice. Willie there alongside Kip, two of our very strong players on our varsity lineup. Next Tuesday, they have grand finals. I believe it's the number 13 seed versus the 19th seed in the bracket going in for that grand finals. The best in the nation on the line here against University of North Carolina Greensboro is the team that they will be facing, who just beat Oakland in the semifinals. A very, very close matchup. Went 3 sets in that one, and I believe it was a 3-0 ending in the stock count in that third set. So very, very close. Very excited for that matchup that comes our way next Tuesday. And we might have some more Rocket League too. If we do come up with a win here, will be next Thursday will be the grand final match. And that the winner of this series will go up against New Mexico State or Southern Nazarene University. On that other side of the bracket, the number 9 seed in New Mexico, and Nazarene, the number 4 seed in this bracket.
Yeah, and looking back at Smash just real quick, this team that they are going to play against in the finals, they knocked them, or Shenandoah got knocked out by them for NECC playoffs last semester, excuse me. So there is a bit of a grudge match there that they have to be aware of. You know, I was talking to Willie yesterday, excuse me, that he's doing all these notes. He has tons of papers of all this scouting, all of this preparation, everything going into it. You know, they are so ready for this matchup that happens next Tuesday. But again, we have to focus on Rocket League for now.
Yeah, it's going to be a close series next Tuesday, but it might be a close series here tonight. I believe we're getting ready for an interview. Not ready just yet, but we will be tossing a quick interview very, very shortly. So we'll have to see who we pull off the game here for the time being. But thinking about kind of what this team looks like right on the side of SU, Thursdays has always been different than Mondays for the rosters, right? We have Pagani here, Kiazi, and Mango, and we just got word from our producers that it's going to be Kiazi, the one taking off the game. Kevin is standing by with them for a quick interview. Guys, take it away.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Ben and Gavin. I am joined here by Wyatt to talk a little bit about the matchup you have ahead in the semifinals for Rocket League. Tell me, how you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling great today. We're going to come in and we're going to win. Come on.
Yeah, buddy. Now, I gotta ask, we're in semifinal territory. This is where a lot of the teams are definitely showing their stuff, making it known why they've hit this point. Saginaw Valley State University, are you worried about that roster at all? Is there anything that you've seen before, or are you just kind of going in feeling like you got the world behind you?
I feel like we do have the world behind us right now. We've been playing really, really good. They are a very hard team, though, so we're not underestimating them. But we're just going to go in with what we know we can do, and hopefully we win.
Hey, beautiful stuff. Now, final question regarding this real quick so I can let y'all warm up once again. When it comes to getting into the sort of mindset of this, right? Because the pressure does tend to build. What are some things y'all do to kind of like get in the rhythm, get going, that sort of stuff?
It's mainly just we have fun. That is... We like to be goofy. We like to just keep the vibes up, make sure everyone's having a good time, no one's down, and then that just helps like us uplift each other, and then we're all playing good. So
beautiful stuff. Thank you so much for this interview. We will pass it back over to Ben and Gavin. So guys, take it away.
Take it away, we will, Kevin. Thank you so much for the very insightful interview there with Kiazi. Glad to hear that the team is confident, but are still recognizing that the team is strong, right? Not underestimating Saginaw Valley whatsoever, going in with a clear mindset, knowing that they have to perform their best if they want to come out with a win.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, any team that makes it to semifinals of a nationals, no matter the seeding, no matter like what number it says on there, like they're obviously good. They obviously have some amount of skill that you have to respect. So it's good to see that. But man, just love the energy out of Kiazi. Like he's just feeling really pumped, feeling really energetic, ready to get the win or ready to start off strong. You know, obviously that first game is very pivotal, especially with the way that Shenandoah likes to play. They like to play very aggressively. So if they're just feeling confident, it allows them to commit harder and just be confident that they're able to either A, score the goal or just get back in time. So it's good to see.
Yeah, no, definitely good to see. I was talking a little bit about the roster before we tossed over towards that interview, right? Pagani is in instead of Elim. That's how it's been all semester long thus far on for this NECC roster lineup that we have been piloting here. So Pagani is a very aggressive player in themselves, but also can kind of have a reserved side of them as well. So what part of Pagani are we going to see? What half? Unsure if it's going to be aggressive Pagani or defensive Pagani, but we know that they can play both sides very, very well. We often see Kiazi falling in to that more defensive approach, that midfield area, hovering a lot, trying to challenge those aerial 50-50s to try to maintain possession of that ball. And then the tried and true Mango striker, right? Always on the aggression, trying to set up passing plays and take it himself a lot of the time out of the corner to try to really kind of navigate the corner and find some pretty sick trick shots off of the crossbar, double tap, whatever it may be from that player. So definitely keep an eye on them because they are very fast and very, very talented.
Yeah, and Pagani last week, I believe, in the first game, he scored both of the goals for our team. So, he can kind of flex into whatever the team needs in the moment. If Mango and Kiazi are kind of feeling a little bit sluggish, Pagani can push forward and just kind of finish it off for them. But he also is very much that kind of anchor. He's the guardian in the goal, or however you want to say it. He's so reliable in that regard, and that just allows the other two just play so aggressively, play their two-man play for these passing plays and whatever. And if they miss, oh well, we still have him in the goal. So, honestly, I think this is the stronger roster. It's I feel like they are more confident with each other. They play in a different manner as opposed to the other one. Obviously, Eliminate, he is very, very good. He's very skilled, but this roster just has so much synergy together that feels nice to have.
Yeah, and Mango with Pagani as well, they connect a lot on the offensive side of the ball. Pagani sets up Mango beautifully time and time again, out of the corner, off of the backboard, whatever it may be. They kind of have that connection with each other, like, hey, I know you're going to be there. I'm just going to toss it up and see what happens as we go into game number 1 here of this series. Saginaw Valley already pushing the agenda there, trying to get a shot on goal, but well defended by SU.
Yeah, and right now we just see SVSU kind of on the back foot, obviously, with Mango getting quote-unquote shot, but not really a real one. But into the corner now, Shenandoah just has a bunch of boost, and they're looking for these very, very aggressive plays, trying to start off on the right foot.
Ooh. Trying to get a toss off that backboard there. I know the overlay does say a best of 5, but this is a best of 7 series. At least that is what we know to be true. So we'll see if it is a best of 5. We'll have to see and play it by ear. But I do believe this is a best of 7 here as SU tries to fight out of the corner, but unable to do so. And there we can see Pagani again at that half field mark. Mango with some boost. The double tap not able to be found. Good defense from SVSU.
Yeah, and SVSU is just playing very, very passive, I want to say. They're playing for these kind of missed touches, these overcommits from Shenandoah, and then just sends the ball completely forward and gets a passing play off of that. Kind of playing for these fast breaks, you might say, where they are just playing it slow, playing it cautious, and just waiting for Shenandoah to make a mistake because they are a very aggressive team. Eventually, they're going to make a mistake that they can get punished on.
Mango trying to toss it out of the corner, the cross coming through, but Kiazi unable to follow up. Good defense coming in from SVSU thus far to start this game off. Bobby taking it over to the corner, winning out on that 50-50 against Kiazi as well. A deep pass, Pagani there to meet it up in the air. 1-0 still the score as we approach 3.5 minutes, very close to that halfway mark here in game number 1. Let's see if SU can finally find some offensive life as they look for a push.
Yeah, 3.5 minutes, still a ton of time left. Pagani's kind of making a hero play there, just able to bat it down for Mango, but unfortunately it does get saved, but it's a good center ball from him. Now, SVSU looking for a clear, but unable to do anything, but here comes Near. I think that ball just goes a little bit wide, Ben.
Yeah, a little bit of a missed touch there from Near. Had that open goal waiting for them, but unable to connect on that shot going just wide. Camero now up in the air will find a touch, but that will also go just wide to the right-hand corner. Kiazi No boost to work with, but will win out on that 50-50, pushing that one off into the corner. Near trying to get that out of their near post, but won't be able to do so. The cross from Pagani on point. Mango there to bury it and tie it up.
Man, that was a very interesting pass from Pagani. He just read this ball beautifully and was just able to kind of toss it back in. They are very clearly on the same page in that situation, because I think SVSU just kind of expected Pagani to bounce it off the back wall and maybe get it back in the center, but no, it just looked like a very clean passing play.
Pagani back off of that rotation as well, able to get back in time and find that save. The kickoff heavily in favor of SVSU to start that one off. Kiazi now in position, finds a cross, but no one there to follow up. Mango pushing it back into the corner, no boost to work with, but will win out on the 50-50 there as well, but Near is already in the air to try to pinch that one out of harm's way.
Yeah, and SVSU just trying to play safe, trying to defend this barrage of shots that Shenandoah has, as Mango looks for one in the center, but is unable to connect with it. Here comes Mango back on the save. He made that first shot, but then he just rotates back so quick. Now Pagani's looking for kind of a center play, looking for a pass off of Mango, going up in the air, but no, just a little bit too far for Mango.
Yeah, Mango is probably one of the fastest, if not the fastest player in this game right now. Very, very speedy, very in good control all the time of that car. Kiazi trying to make contact with that ball midfield, but unable to do so. But Pagani back in time into the corner, trying to find a pinch towards the goal, but well defended there by SVSU. Kind of back and forth ping pong match now we find ourselves in game number 1, a minute 20 to go.
Yeah, neither team is just able to control it very well. It just seems like every time something happens, they're forcing a 50-50 and the ball just goes way wide. So both teams just trying to vie for possession of this ball and look for like a good development passing play into a shot. But instead, we just keep getting this boom ball action where the ball just keeps getting launched into these corners and nothing can really come of it at this moment. Good
touch by Near. They're able to push that one back into the corner. Potential double tap. The follow-up from Near is there. 2-1 now for SVSU with 54 seconds to go in game number 1.
Yeah, man, we see on the cameras there, Mango can feel it. He just feels like they're playing a little bit too slow in that moment. You know, they had 2 people in the goal. They should have been able to make the save, but you know, they're just a little bit sleepy at this moment, but that is very, very common for Shenandoah. They always start out very slow, and then they kind of pick it up towards the second and third game and so on. So still feeling good for them. You know, obviously, you don't want to be down 1 goal with 40 seconds left, but there's still plenty of time.
The angle there, Kiazi just barely missing on the ball. It's a triple commit from SU. Can anyone get back in time? The ball pushed off into the corner. Near trying to find a cross. No one there to connect with for SVSU. It remains a 1-score game. Mango, Pagani, they're all trying to find a clear and will finally do so. Mango with some boosts to work with. Flip reset will not come through and won't even need it. Pagani, a clutch demo to tie it up.
Man, the communication from them was great. As Mango goes up for this ball, he's telling Pagani the whole way, if you just demo the goalie, like this ball's going straight in. And that was beautifully played by them as they tie it up now with 20 seconds left.
I thought Mango was going to go for a flip reset there. I kind of pre-fired it on that call, but doesn't even need to go for it. Knows that Pagani is there on that rotation, finding the demo, tying it up with 10 seconds left in the corner. We go. Mango with a cross, but too strong for Pagani to make it there in time. And now the clear the other direction. SVSU with some threatening prowess here on the offensive side, but it will not just get spiked. Now we'll almost make the floor. We'll finally hit the floor. Game 1 overtime now in this semifinals.
Man, Shenandoah is just playing super aggressively. They're kind of fighting with fire there in the moment. SVSU had a good shot on goal, but just went a little bit wide. If they can just clear up these shots, you know, get a little bit of a better angle. There's like 2 or 3 times that the goal would be scored, but Shenandoah staying relentless on this attack as we see Mango kind of push the ball up. Kiazi unable to get there in time, but it was a good look for them.
Yeah, pinch coming through from Mango out of that corner. A good clear from them, but Kiazi and Pagani both have 0 boost to work with. Mango the only one with any kind of pressure in that offensive setting, but won't be able to find anything. Now finally getting some boost back. The pinch far corner there on SU's side of the pitch, but Mango back in time to find a clear. Goes up in the air. Will it go over Bobby? No. Bobby able to catch it, finding that save. SU still relentless on the pressure.
Man, I'm shocked Pagani didn't go for that ball there. It just really contest and make him go in the air, but instead they're opting to play more of this midfield control and look for shots out of the midfield rather than attacking the third. It's interesting, but it's a good adaptation for them as we head into overtime. You know, only 1 goal is needed. You don't need to lay it on, so just playing more casually is the idea.
Now a minute into this overtime, Mango with another clear into that far corner. Cross coming through from Pagani. Kiazi is there, but won't commit in full. Wanted to not get too aggressive and leave that goal wide open. Possibly a wise decision here in this overtime. Like you mentioned, only needing 1 goal to find the win. Pagani with a shot on goal, but Camo back in time to find the save. Pinch far side coming through from SVSU, but Kiazi there to catch it.
Man, you can just tell with all 6 members on this field right now, it just seems like the stress is kind of setting in. This is semifinals, you know, it's win or go home, and you're in overtime, so everyone's just playing so passive. No one wants to overcommit. Nobody wants to send 2 or 3 people attacking the goal because then you don't have a goalie. So everybody is just playing these kind of solo plays, man. They're just playing like one-on-one, 1v2. Maybe you can make a hero play, you can get it by, you can score the goal, but nobody wants to commit as a team.
2 minutes now into this game 1 overtime. Pagani just moments ago trying to connect with Mango on a pass, but unable to find the angle that they wanted. Great defense thus far coming in from both sides. Clear after clear, a shot on goal now from Bobby. Mango able to push that one back into the corner. Shot on goal coming through from Camo. Crossbar. Doink. Pagani with a clear out into the corner. We stay tied up, remain in this overtime.
Man, you got to go to the lottery after that one because Pagani got real lucky with that clink. That was a really good shot from SVSU, but, you know, unfortunate timing there. Unfortunate, just the goal's just not big enough for them. But this attack is still going for SVSU. They are just absolutely relentless. This is the first time Shenandoah is able to get a really good shot on, and it looks so close, but Camo with an excellent save. But Pagani is there to absolutely just finish it in. Just, you know, the double commit came out clutch in that moment.
Yeah, very, very close game number 1. A 3-minute overtime as well. I believe it was a Mango that, oh no, I think it was Kiazi on that cross out of that corner, able to make that ball find its way through the traffic up towards that crossbar. Pagani there as well with that follow-up, that double commit coming through to finally seal the deal in that game number 1. But you can see not many smiles on the SU side of things. They know, man, we really got away with one there.
Yeah, I mean, the boys who usually have good vibes, who are always happy-go-lucky, they are very serious. They know that game, they got extremely lucky there. Like, yeah. I mean, the crossbar shot or crossbar hit, you know, they win that off of a 50-50 inside the goal. Like, obviously, really well played by Shenandoah, but you have to thank your losses there. Let's be thankful.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a very, very close game. 2 goals coming through from Mango there. The 1 goal in overtime coming through from Pagani. And on the side of Saginaw Valley State, 2 goals were scored, both of them by Near. Nothing coming through from Bobby or Camo just yet. I mean, we saw glimpses of hope from those 2 players in that overtime, almost sealing the deal there. I believe it was Camo on that last carry that went off that crossbar, which Pagani was able to find the clear on. But yeah, very, very close affair right now. Kiazi seeing some assist action, getting those clears under the board, but Bobby and Camo still struggling to find their groove.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you say that Camo did not score a goal there, because it seemed like the entire game that Camo was just the fastest one for SVSU. It seemed like every time he had the aerial prowess, he was the one making these touches and making these commits. But obviously, you know, the first touch is usually just a pass for an assist, so naturally you want to get your you want to get a goal there.
Bobby with the catch on that shot coming through from Mango. Nothing threatening just yet from the SU side. Just some clears back and forth. Camo now into the corner. Shot on goal from Near yet again, sneaking it past Kiazi. Near, that is 3 now in the series.
Yeah, and it just looks like, I want to see it again, but it just looked like it got bounced off of Kiazi. Yeah, off of the back of the car. Kiazi just went a little too far forward. You know, you have that moment where they either go left or right, and you have to pick one side. He went right, and unfortunate timing there that it just hit the back of the car and bounced straight in.
Yeah, readjusting towards that near post, possibly thinking the shot will go there. Mango now with some aerial dribble action, but won't be able to find the goal there, although it was on target. Defense coming through from SVSU. A good angle top down coming through from SU, but won't be able to find the goal just yet. SVSU off of this second kickoff here in game number 2, heavily finding themselves on the defensive side, but now a clear almost on target, just off of that crossbar. Finally a clear coming through from SU.
And man, you can tell that this game is not in overtime yet, because Shenandoah, I'm pretty sure, had all 3 members of their team in SVSU's third for about 40 seconds. They're just relentlessly peppering the goal with shots, and just none of them were able to land, but it just pushed the pressure on SVSU. One mistake and that goal gets in, and there we see another unfortunate click. This side, Pagani does not get so lucky, and now SVSU on the attack.
Oh, the triple commit coming through, unable to get back in time. The demo as well from near to seal the deal. Pagani was the only one relatively in the area to find a save. A great headhunting mission coming through from Camo. Maybe he just didn't even see him, right? With that Camo name, maybe that's how it works. Maybe that's why they are named that.
Man, if you didn't see the teams in the top at this moment, you would think it's deja vu, because Shenandoah in the first game had that demo goal. They had all these things that just happened for them, and then SVSU in this time had the exact opposite. They were all coming for them. Pagani, didn't get so lucky with that crossbar shot. Game 1 he did. So everything's just so polarized in this game.
Pagani back on defense, pushing it off to the corner, but Camo again with the follow-up on that one. SVSU piling on the goals, 3-0 with 3:10 to go in game number 2.
Man, it was a good save too. It just didn't go far enough out. Maybe Kiazi wasn't back in time. But again, if you're Shenandoah here, SVSU scores 3 goals in a minute 50. You have 3:10 to score 6. So the math works out for Shenandoah to come back in this game, but you have to dial it back. You have to remind yourself that you do belong here. You do deserve to win this game. These 3 goals, they happen, but you can get so many more so much quicker.
Yeah, still plenty of time to find these goals as we're approaching the halfway mark. A cross beautifully set up. Oh my goodness, that was almost disastrous from Mango there on that crossbar, but won't go SVSU's way in that sense. Pagani, no boost to work with. We'll be following up with Mango if possible, trying to find a cross over to Kiazi, but great rotation from Saginaw Valley State, able to find the save. Shot on goal on target, but Mango back in time to find that save. Pagani with a breakaway here will find the touch. Brings it now within 2 here. Not out of it yet.
Man, if you asked if any of that situation would have been a goal for Shenandoah, I would have told you you're insane, because Shenandoah, Kiazi and Pagani specifically, were just on 0 boost for the large majority of that. I'm pretty sure he scored that goal with 12 boost in his pocket. So just kind of got lucky there. SVSU triple committed and no one was able to get back. I'm not sure if they just didn't have the boost in the back of their, they didn't get the boost packs or what, because it just seemed like that goal was so slow for Shenandoah.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly did. Pagani getting a little bit of boost from those smaller pads there does allow him to get to that position fast enough. Now a shot on goal, but off the crossbar. Pagani pushing that one off into the corner. A very, very lucky stationary object placement for SU there. Kiazi with a dribble goes low, but great defense coming through from Camo, able to find the save.
Yeah, Near played that really beautifully too. He went up a little bit, but he kind of faked them. It looked like he was tilting his car up to go up, and it immediately bumped it back down, so he was able to get that first touch. Obviously, Camo was there with a full save, but it slowed the ball down enough for him to do that. Pagani bringing the ball into the corner, has no boost though, but Mango's just going to take it from here. Maybe look for a center down. Unfortunate that the ball just goes a little bit too far for him.
And Pagani back on the defensive rotation to collect some boost. Frequently running out of that resource has been Pagani in this game number 2. Very hard to keep up with the pace when that is the case, but still nonetheless Pagani able to get back in time to find the clears, as now we find themselves on the offensive side of things, keeping it in this corner, just trying to find some kind of gap, some opening to find across. Mango flip reset is there and will carry it all the way in themselves to bring it now within 1 with 57 to go.
Man, Mango just absolutely loves that situation when he's able to get the ball on the tip of his cart and just pop it straight up. He can just do so much with it. He has so many potentials to flip reset it, double touch it, maybe lead it off with a pass, or even just fake it into the goal. He just feels so confident in that moment. He saw it right then and there.
Yeah, kickoff going in favor of SVSU for the time being. Kiazi with a little bit of a carry, but won't be able to do much with it. Just trying to buy some time on some rotations for Mango and Pagani. Clear on point. Mango in the area and buries it. Tied up. 3 apiece.
Man, Mango, look at the camera. He is so locked in. He's hyping his team. He says, guys, we just scored 3 goals in a minute. why not more? Why not us? That was a beautiful passing play from Kiazi, you know, getting his name in the assist board, you know, getting one more tally there. Just a beautiful pass into obviously just a great shot from Mango. What more could we expect?
Tied up 3 apiece now here in game number 2. 30 seconds remaining. Pagani catching that clear from SVSU. Will they be able to transition that into anything more but a shot on target? A miscue coming through at the midfield. SVSU reclaim the lead 4-3.
Yeah, it was just an unfortunate touch. I think Pagani was expecting the Kiazi to get there in time, but the ball was just too fast. Maybe it got an awkward touch off of the corner or off of the wall there, and it just kind of fell into SVSU's lap. Obviously, like at that moment, not much you can do except regain. You have 20 seconds left now. You have to get another goal.
23 seconds left indeed, but a very dangerous angle there coming through from SVSU. Bobby maintaining possession of that ball thus far. Mango has some boosts to work with, but Camo pushing that one back into SU's half of the field. 5 seconds left and ticking. Mango, no boost to work with, just sends it up for a Hail Mary. Is anyone there to catch it? Pagani with a shot off the crossbar, goes just wide. The series now tied at 1.
Yeah, I mean, we see it on their faces, man. Griff really wanted that one. Mango, you know, kind of played really well there. They had the comeback going, just an unfortunate timing on that last goal. You know, sometimes you get lucky in this game, sometimes you don't, and at that moment, the ball just kind of fell right into SVSU's lap.
That is a hat trick coming through from Camo as well in that game number 2. 3 goals and 3 very, very important goals. Near had 1. Bobby still yet to hop on the board there. Mango had 2 more in that game. Pagani putting 1 on there as well, but very, very close games here, game 1 and game 2. And we've seen both of these teams have what it takes to beat the other team. Very, very close. We almost find ourselves in an overtime in game 2, but won't go the distance there.
Yeah, man, we talk about caster curses there. Apparently, I just did the complete opposite, because I was saying that Camo, in that first game, I thought that he played the best on SVSU's roster. I feel like he was the fastest. He had the most offensive touches, the most shots on goal, whatever. Obviously, we don't have the stats, but it just seemed like he was the player to be. And obviously, in this moment, he comes alive. So now I'm going to attempt to do it in the opposite manner. You know, Kiazi hasn't gotten on the board yet, but Kiazi, man, he had that really good passing play. He's had some good defensive plays, you know, with these 50-50 wins and whatnot. So I expect him to kind of come alive here. You know, he's been a little bit quiet. Obviously, that's not super normal for him. So now all eyes on him to try and perform here.
Mango off the ceiling. A dribble coming through. The shot on goal coming through as well, but won't be able to find that one. Pagani now trying to find a clear, but Camo sending it the opposite direction. SU almost capitalizing on the very favorable kickoff.
Yeah, very favorable kickoff indeed. Game 3 of a best-of-7 tied 1-1 here. SVSU is on the attack. Mango had to go up in kind of an awkward manner. His card was not where he wanted to be, but thankful that you can get it into the corner now and look for an offensive attack with Mango at the forefront.
Mango trying to follow up on that one, but Kiazi finds it. Goes low. 1 zip here for SU in game 3.
All right, Kiazi, you got 1. Now you just need to get 2 more for the prophecy to be true, for whatever I say to be foretold. You know, now up 1-0 with 4:23 left. Now, do you pepper it in? Do you keep going for these offensive attacks, or is Shenandoah going to kind of change the script and go a little bit more defensive? We'll have to see.
I mean, hey, that's just the start of the game. Still plenty of game to be played. I mean, a 1-0 lead, we've seen it already in game 1 and game 2. That is not going to cut it in this series thus far. The clear going over Pagani's head, but Mango is already back in time to find the clear, the save, the push back to midfield. They are playing a little bit more defensively here, but it looks like it's just a change of pace as Pagani starts flying towards SVSU's net, but unable to catch up in time.
Yeah, the pace change is really pivotal here, because SVSU just obviously has kind of gotten used to, this is the 3rd game that Shenandoah likes to play very fast. So they keep trying to force these 50-50s, and then Shenandoah does not do anything with the ball, so then they just retain possession. But here, kind of, Mango kind of had to make an awkward save there, but now he's looking for an offensive attack. Ben?
Yeah, 0 boost to work with, however, unable to catch up with that ball. Back up in the air, Kiazi clearing it over towards the corner. Camo is there to connect with that one. Now I believe it's Camo in the air yet again. A toss down, a pass, but no boost on near means they can't really follow up on that one too well. Back into the corner goes SU, trying to find an offensive angle, but great defense again from SVSU to keep them out of the net. Shot on goal from Mango will be saved by Camo. Great defense coming through from Saginaw.
Man, Shenandoah is just somehow, some way able to get these shots on goals when everyone is so low on boost. Look at the boost from Mango and Pagani here. Just has absolutely nothing in the tank, but they're still able to put some amount of pressure on. SVSU is really feeling the threat of this second goal coming as Near looks for a dribble play, but Pagani's there to save it. Now Mango gets a touch into the corner, but they're going to go up. They don't want that ball to touch the corner anymore. Shenandoah scored 2 or 3 goals off of that specific play. Pagani gets a great pass, but Bobby's there with the save.
Yeah, Bobby there yet again. Pagani now trying to keep the aggression up, but a great clear over towards Bobby, but Mango already back on that defensive rotation. Means they can't really do a whole lot with that one. Now, when we take a step back at this game number 3, the speed has taken a step up, I feel, from game 1 and game number 2. Both of these teams playing now extremely, extremely fast and find themselves oftentimes on kind of back and forth on, all right, you guys are going to be playing defense for about 15 seconds. Now we're going to play defense for about 15 seconds. Follow-up after follow-up. Both teams doing a great job at maintaining possession of the ball.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting situation. The mentality changed for both teams, but in the same manner. Camo with a great save off a Mango shot. But game 2, you know, Shenandoah loses it. They're like, okay, we have to get it back. We have to, you know, we can't let this happen. Like, we expected to win. We were very confident going to it. SVSU, same manner. They won one. They're like, all right, we have to keep the aggression up. So both teams just turn a notch a little bit higher, and now we see the pace completely shift. This is a very, very fast-paced game, but only 1 goal scored.
Cross coming through from Camo, but Mango able to push that one out of their half of the pitch. Now has some boost to work with, but instead it's going to be Near pushing it away from the goal. Kiazi up in the air, no boost to follow up. Pagani trying to find a cross, but pinched far down the field. Will be able to catch that one. Midfield is Pagani, excuse me, that was Mango that was there on the cross. But yeah, back and forth, still only a 1-score game here, 1-0 for SU. A demo coming through, however, does help out SU. Shot on goal coming through from Near. Kiazi back on that near post to find the save. 35 seconds left.
Man, Kiazi's just doing it all. He had that demo that kind of saved the goal there. Then he gets a save, and now he's starting the offensive attack here as the ball is in the midfield, but Pagani's there. 0 boost. The amount of times that Shenandoah has gone up for the ball, they've done these aerials with like 20 boosts left and just send it up and have nothing is astounding. But again, it is that offensive threat that they want to have. Even if they have 0 boost, they want to say, hey, we're still going up for it. We're going to get something into the corner or something onto the goal, whatever it might be. Kiazi has to make an awkward save here. Does not get the 50-50 win in the air. Near now sending it to the corner, but here comes Pagani with the clear.
1 second left. Can Bobby get there in time? They do keep it up. Near has some boosts to work with here. Bobby unable to make that connection to keep that one up. SU survived in that very, very close game number 3, but we will have to see if they can keep that momentum up. A 1-0 victory on the side of SU. Very, very close affair. But now SU, can you keep that up, right? The defense looked extraordinary in that game number 3. The offense taking a little bit of a step back in that sense as well. Do not want to get too aggressive, too ahead of themselves.
Yeah, Ben, and I was going to say beforehand that this is a very fun Rocket League series. You know, game 1, we saw like 4 or 5 goals scored. Game 2, we have like 5, 6 goals scored. And in game 3, slows down a lot, but the pace went up. And what that means is that these two teams have dialed each other in. They now know how they like to play. SVSU has figured out that Shenandoah's whole game plan is these double, triple commits. You know, we have to play very defensively because they do these very, very quick attacks. And Shenandoah has learned that SVSU likes to play kind of defensively. They like to go for these counterattacks, you know, these fast breaks, whatever you want to call them. So now that that has been solved, these games should slow down in terms of the amount of goals scored.
Yeah, 2-1 now, the series lead here. Now, we would say, oh, this is match point, but no. This is a best of 7, friends. We need 2 more wins on the board for SU to win, 3 more on the side of SVSU as we hop into game number 4. Kickoff going in favor of SU. A pinch cross coming through from Mango, but nothing more than just that, as no one will follow up on the side of SU on that kickoff angle. Will be tossed up. Near able to get there before Pagani is able to find that save, pushing that one out of harm's way. Back into the corner, cross coming through from Bobby, but won't be able to find anything either. No early goal.
Man, this ball is just sitting in this corner. Bobby was just kind of floundering with it for a little bit there. I think he was waiting for the rest of his team to get boost and maybe look for an offensive attack, but just nothing was there. Pagani made a great save there as Mango got demoed, but here comes the offensive attack off of the backboard, looking for a touch, near misses, but nothing able to be connected. Mango with almost a good shot. Unfortunate timing there, just the defensive pressure from SVSU was there. They were able to kind of divert the ball away.
Yeah, Kiazi now back on the defensive side, pinching that one back over into SVSU's corner. Mango up in the air, finds a cross, but too strong for Kiazi to capitalize on. No boost for Kiazi as well in that instance. Means it is going to be fairly tough to follow up on that play. A clear going deep down the field. Camel's trying to get there in time to catch it, but won't be able to do so. Pagani with a center near there to catch it. 3:40 to go. Scoreless in game 4.
Man, Pagani just loves doing that. Again, right there, he had like 30 boosts, and he's going up for it. He's making a play on it. Even if he has no boost, he just feels like they need to exhibit this offensive pressure. Even if they have no boost, they have to get up and contest the ball because you have Camel on the other side that can look for these very, very quick aerial attacks. So really good to see from him, but kind of in a scary situation now. Unfortunately, Kiazi has no boost, but Mango's going up, looking for a play, able to get the beat, looking for the ball with the backflip, and it does not go in, Ben.
No one there on SU able to get there in time. A very, very close situation for SVSU, but the defense holding strong. Mango at the start of that entire sequence did look like they were looking for a pass over into that center field, but the communication must have dropped there in that moment because no one from SU was following up on that attempt. Now we see Camo trying to speed flip their way towards that ball, but won't be able to get there in time. Mango out of the corner, stuffed by Near, and will win out on that 50-50. Pagani maintaining possession across, coming through, but no one on the side of SU with any boost to follow up halfway through game number 4.
Man, game number 4 of a best of 7 here, and it just seems like Shenandoah is just faster than SVSU at every single moment. Even when they're triple committed, it just seems like they're always getting the first touch. Pagani into the corner. Again, he's there. They have to double commit on that side because Pagani just has the speed to get the touchdown. Camo up, but unfortunate that it gets blocked from below.
Oh, it was a great commit coming through from Bobby in that instance. We saw Camo with no boost, but Near finds that touch off of that corner. No one there in time for SU, thinking that one's going to be pushed over into that far corner. SVSU now find themselves with a 1-score lead here in game number 4, 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, excuse me. I thought that ball was bumped by Shenandoah, and it was just a block into the corner. But that was a beautiful play by Near, sending it into the corner because they were able to read it off and get the goal for Bobby. Kind of a very interesting line for them to take, but it worked out beautifully, and Bobby gets his first goal of the series.
Yeah, man. Pagani now with a touch, sending that one back off into the corner, but won't be able to follow up on that one is SU. Mango now with some pressure will try to find the bump and does. That was absolutely beautiful from Mango. Clip that one for your reel.
Oh my gosh, and look at Mango absolutely ecstatic about that goal. You know, he had that. You always dream. If you play Rocket League, you dream of these moments of, I'm going to take the ball. I'm going to go for this 1v1. I'm going to push the ball a little bit higher up and drop my car and just bump theirs. And every time you go for it, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but man, does it work. Or when it works, it just feels so great.
Yeah, Mango again going for a bump onto Camo, but won't be able to connect on that one, sending that one off of the ceiling. Almost has yet another goal. Pagani now tossing that one off the ceiling. A little top-down waterfall angle on that one, but won't be able to find a goal yet again. Tied up still, 1 apiece as we approach the final minute of game number 4.
Yeah, it's game number 4 indeed. And Pagani is just able to read that ball. You know, the speed in which Shenandoah is putting out these offensive attacks, they just aren't able to do anything. Pagani just reads his own pass, you know, kind of plays ball by himself and is able to score, get himself another goal.
Yeah, finds that angle beautifully off of that post. Now 2-1 lead here for SU. The kickoff going in favor of SVSU. They're able to find that one, a pinch off the ceiling. Kiazi already there in time to push that one away into the corner. Let's see if SVSU can find yet another angle. Mango up in the air with the carry. Bobby back in time. Kiazi with the cross. Follow up. Possession still in favor of SU. Cross again coming through, but no one there from SU to follow up. 40 seconds left. SVU, you're down 1. What do you do?
Yeah, SVSU just seems kind of stressed right there. It seemed like Camo got bumped 2 or 3 times by his own team, and they just feel the pressure. They're triple committing for everything. They do not want to go down 3-1 in this best of 7. You know, that's a really tall order for them to come back. But Nier is able to just read the ball, kind of slow plays it, and just taps it into the corner. I don't think Shenandoah knew that he was able to get that touch off of the ceiling there, Ben.
Yeah, Pagani does have a little bit of an awkward touch on that one as well. Off of that wall, goes off the ceiling, right back down to Nier. But hey, we're tied at 2. 20 seconds left. The kickoff heavily in favor of SU as we approach the final second. Shot on goal, caught by Nier. No boost to work with. Kiazi getting bumped as well. They're clear, trying to come through. Pagani, no boost to work with either. Can't catch up to that ball. 5 seconds remaining. Mango with the cross, the ball hovering in front of SVSU, but now Camo has an opportunity. Will finally find the ground. Our second overtime of the series, tied at 2.
Man, that was a goofy scenario there. I think Camo just got sent to the stratosphere with that bump in the air. But looking at this game, you see the boost levels of every single member in this game. Everyone is so low at all times because these offensive attacks are coming so quick. No one has time to rotate back for the big boost pads. So everyone's relying on these small pads, and obviously they don't give enough for you to make these aerial plays. So when someone gets to 100, you have so much agency to make a big play and to make a big moment.
Mango now in the air, might look for a carry themselves, but will take it low instead. The flip reset on the ground, won't be able to do anything with that one. Now an angle beautifully set up from SVSU, but Nier goes just high on the shot off the crossbar. Kiazi, can you get there in time? No, you cannot. Camo with a clear finding. A beautiful save to keep SVSU alive in this game number 4. Let's see if they can capitalize on the other side.
Man, we talk about backflips not being used enough in Rocket League, and there Camo just gets a great save as they just carried in. Obviously, Shenandoah is just feeling so bad about that moment, but it's so hard to read that because you have the option to side flip that save. You can side flip it and then it gets cleared, and that's exactly where Kiazi is going. But that backflip, you know, the ball doesn't go anywhere when you do that, but it was just enough for Kiazi to miss the ball. Absolutely nightmare feel for Shenandoah in that moment. But again, a long series. This is not the final game. This is a best of 7, so you still have at least 2 more games to bring it back.
Yeah, we are tied up at 2. We've seen an overtime go SU's way, and we've seen an overtime go SVSU's way. We'll have to see if this trend continues for the overtime scenarios, but I mean, an unbelievably close angle coming through from Kiazi, but with no boost to work with, which has been something we've talked about all series long, unable to get back in time. It was Nier that was able to find that initial save to just stalemate, stall that ball right in front of the net, and Camo able to come in with a saving grace, pushing that one to the corner, and capitalizing on the far side is Bobby. 2 goals now for Bobby in this series, and that one is a big one.
Yeah, and the storyline is kind of developing now as we continue this long series that whoever's low on boost, everyone's just committing so much. Everyone has these double commits. Everyone's super afraid of this offensive pressure, so nobody has any boost. And there it kind of came back to bite Shenandoah in the butt. You know, Kiazi had no boost. He had to go for the 50-50, but he didn't have the speed to get there in time. You know, if he just had maybe 20 boosts, he could have punched that goal in. But now you're entering game 5. Now you just have to live and forget. That everything that just happened is in the past. It's a fresh game. You got 5 minutes on the board, 0-0, so now it's time to strike.
Let's see what they can do here. The kickoff going in favor of SVSU there for the time being. A punch into the corner goes Bobby, but no one able to follow up from SVSU on that one. Mango, some boost, goes off the ceiling, pinching it far side corner on SVSU's side of the pitch. Now Camo in the air, flip reset, we'll just toss it right back down. No one able to follow up on that one, but man, you can feel the tension in this series. Tied up at 2, all of these players suddenly becoming a little stiff on the pitch.
Yeah, stiff indeed. I don't really know what happened there with Kiazi and Pagani, but they just landed on top of each other. You know, the stress is setting in. Now you lose that disaster game 4, and you let up a pretty slow goal for here in game 5. You know, SVSU, Bobby obviously able to get that one. Just a bad touch, and was able to just get in for for SVSU.
I mean, Camo doing a great job at navigating that corner, getting through Pagani, making sure they don't find a clean push back into the corner or stop the momentum of the ball in any way. Bobby doing a great job at reading that one out of the corner as well. A toss-up coming through from Pagani. Will anyone on the side of SU be able to follow up? It does not look likely. Already back on the defensive side is Mango and Kiazi waiting for the respawn of Pagani. Toss up off the backboard. Any follow-up there? No. Kiazi able to catch that one. Has a little bit of boost to work with, but won't be able to do much with it. Mango getting demoed as well means Pagani and Kiazi have to find an angle, a pinch on target, but Camo back in time to find the save.
Yeah, you got to find some life here if you're Shenandoah. You have to find some sort of catalyst to get your energy back, get your motivation back. It just seems like they're playing a little bit slow. Even there with that save or with that clear, it just seems a little bit slow. And they need to find something. They need to find something to get their confidence back, because right now it just seems like they're playing very, very slow and just very defensive. And that's not what you want to see when you're down 1-0.
And right now, it's really just a masterclass of boost starvation coming through from SVSU. A shot on goal. Pagani there to catch up with a follow-up from Near is there. 2-0 now for SVSU, trying to move up to match point.
Yeah, you can ask Pagani to make that first save, which is clean. But, you know, Near is just back there. He just rotates straight back. He knows that ball is going to get saved kind of in an awkward angle. Not much that Pagani can do there. You know, just unfortunate place to be in.
Yeah, clear now. The demo coming through on Pagani, but the kickoff still goes in favor of SU. The clear now going the opposite direction. Mango now in the air, able to find that one. Another demo coming through onto Pagani. The pressure that SVSU have now come out with after that overtime victory is immense. Demos after demos, boost starvation left and right. Shenandoah find themselves looking like sitting ducks right now. Mango trying to find a clear, but now won't be able to do so. A cross coming through to Near on the far side. A little bit of a touch from Bobby off the backboard, but no one there to follow up on the side of SVSU.
Yeah, sitting ducks indeed. It just seems like Shenandoah has not been able to bin in the offensive third this entire game. The whole time they are looking for saves, but these bumps inside the goal. Pagani got bumped again. I believe he got demoed twice in that entire string, and he gets bumped in the goal. You can't save it if you're not there. So beautiful play from SVSU. They are just taking the momentum that they had from the last game, you know, the overtime goal, and they are putting everything into this game. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left for Shenandoah to get 3 in. But again, off of the kickoff, almost another goal for SVSU.
Yeah, still plenty of time to come back in this one, especially if Mango's able to find an angle. Won't be able to find the double tap. The corner very, very strong. The crossbar even stronger. Kiazi trying to follow up, but won't be able to find an angle. Pagani with a clear, but no, it's Bobby able to disrupt the passing lanes. A pass downtown to Near. Won't be able to find it. Yes, they will. The double tap just going far enough into that upper right corner. 4-0 now, SVSU.
Yeah, at this point, Operation Get a Goal is in effect for Shenandoah. They just have to get one, you know, try and get some amount of energy, some amount of confidence back. At this point, it's really, really hard to come back in this game, but it's not impossible. But to start, you need to get one.
Yeah, Camo now trying to drop that one off of the crossbar, but won't be able to find it. Now it's Near in the air. Boost to work with. Flip reset is there. Won't be able to connect. It's Kiazi with the clear. Mango with some boost to work with, but you can look at the possession right now. SVSU is in full control. Shenandoah has not seen SVSU's half of the pitch for probably the last minute. Kiazi now finding a clear, a beautiful angle to get them back in the swing of things. Mango with the score.
Yeah, and that's what you need. And that just comes from SVSU, kind of their play style in this game. They've been playing a very Shenandoah-like play style where they're just committing all three. They're constantly attacking the pitch. They're constantly attacking that third, and Shenandoah is able to get a fast break, you know, gets a good touch into a pass, and it just comes out free. But Camo with a beautiful shot there. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but obviously it came off the kickoff, which, you know, if you play Rocket League, you hate to see kickoff goals. They'll just feel like the lamest things in Rocket League.
Yeah, Camo just with a beautiful read off of that kickoff, a beautiful angle as well. Kiazi unable to get up in time to find the save, and suddenly that goal means absolutely nothing on the side of SU, still finding themselves down for the momentum. You can feel it fully swinging away from the Hornets. SVSU in prime control. Let's see if Pagani can try to do anything about it. Pinch, but it goes the opposite direction. Kiazi now in the air, tossing it towards the post, but won't be able to connect with anyone on the SU side.
Yeah, at this point, Shenandoah needs to commit all 3 members. You know, this game might go to 8-1, 8-2, 8-3, but Shenandoah just needs to start getting some goals and need to get some confidence back, so we expect them to see some triple commits coming out. But no, Kiazi's kind of playing a little bit safer, going up for it. Now into the corner it comes, but Bobby is there. Unfortunately, he takes a demo there, but he still gets the clear out.
Pagani now with the touch midfield. Kiazi unable to make contact, gets a strong bump in that corner as well. A shot on goal coming through from Mango, but Camo is there instead to find the saves. 20 seconds left here in game number 5. Camo in the air again, has an angle, but Mango is there to find the save. Final 10. Will they be able to end this game 5 on a positive note? We will just have to wait and see as the seconds tick away, but with 1 second left and the ball potentially meeting the ground, Pagani trying to keep it up, trying to find a pass over to Mango off the crossbar and in for a goal, ending it on a positive note. But SVSU, the first team now in the series to win 2 in a row.
Yeah, the 2 in a row indeed, and that was a good passing play from Pagani to Mango. You know, that's what we want to see when it comes to them two specifically. They do have the synergy there. They do make these kind of stylish passing plays. You know, if that was 0-0, 1-0, we'd be more energetic with that goal because it was a good goal. But, you know, you just lost that game 5-2. SVSU has now won 2 games in a row. They are on the brink of qualifying for finals with this next win. So if you're Shenandoah now, you have to figure out a way to kind of sabotage SVSU's cars because it seems like they're firing on all cylinders, and ours, you know, we're kind of missing a few engines there or whatever you want to say about cars. Like, it's a rough place to be in if you're Shenandoah.
Yeah, I mean, you can see in the Roman cam there as well, Mango going, just relax. It's okay. We can win this. We've proven it twice now that we can win against this team. That one just got away from them early on. We'll have to see if they can bounce back. But now we see Saginaw Valley State, the number 2 seed, now on match point to punch their ticket to grand finals. Can SU step up? Can SU force a game 7? We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, again, to reiterate with the seeding and stuff, SVSU is the favorite in this series. You know, Shenandoah obviously felt very confident going into this series, but if you look at just the raw stats, the raw numbers, SVSU is the favorite. So
yeah, it's going to be close regardless, right? We did just get word from our producers. You're seeing our lovely faces because we're taking a quick 5, a timeout, I'm assuming called by the side of SU. I mean, if you're SVSU, there's no reason to call a timeout with this kind of momentum. We did get a thumbs up from our lovely producer that this is a timeout from SU, right? So I like it coming out here. We know what we have to change, right? Boost. Yeah. Find a way to be fast because right now everything is getting snatched away from SU. Pagani, Kiazi, Mango, all of them frequently under 20 boost in the tank.
Yeah, and it just seems like that stems from kind of bad habits forming in those first few games that they won. You know, they were going up, specifically Pagani was going up with like 30 boosts left, and he's just making a touch. He's making some sort of threat. He's just putting out some pressure, and that was working. But then SVSU has clearly figured something out. Their coach or whoever has seen something that Shenandoah is doing, you know, a crack in the rock or whatever you want to say, that they are able to punish now. So now Shenandoah has to go back and say, okay, what made them get these goals? And honestly, from my opinion, it just seems like kind of lucky and also speed. Speed kills in this game, and they just get the ball out faster. They are making these offensive attacks. They're getting the ball up into the air and sending it through aerials way quicker, and Shenandoah's just not back in the goal yet.
Yeah, and when you look at the tallies of goals, the goal scoring is wild on both sides, right? Mango has 7 goals in this series thus far. Kiazi only with 1, a little quiet here on the offensive side. Pagani has 3, and now we look on the side of Saginaw Valley State. Bobby coming alive with 3, now finally 2. One of those goals very pivotal in game number 4 to win that one in this game as well. Near has 7 goals as well. Back and forth in the goal scoring goes Mango and Near topping both of their teams respectively, and Camo has 4 as well, but also has quite a few assists, doing a great job at setting up Near with a lot of these angles.
Yeah, Camo just has a lot of speed, is able to make these passing plays. He's very pivotal in this, this three-way attack that they have. But if we rewind a little bit back into game 5, I believe it, or game 4, I believe it was, where we had that overtime goal. Kiazi just missed the ball just slightly. At that moment, it's on Shenandoah to forget it, and clearly they did not forget it. So it's a good time to take a timeout here. Now, you can say, okay, everything that just happened last 2 games, throw it away. Go back to game 1, game 2, game 3, where we were staying competitive with them. We were, even if we lost those games, they were in overtime goals. They were very, very close goals, very close saves, whatever it might be. You just have to go back to that moment. You have to reminisce a little bit, and that's the key in this timeout, these 5 minutes here, that they just have to remember.
Yeah, just forget about those past games. You have to get it out of your head, because we can see that it is certainly in their head. Specifically, we've noticed Kiazi a lot of the time does beat himself up a little bit. It's all right. Stuff happens. You don't have to worry about it. It is in the past. You have 1 game to force a game 7. You have to go 1 game at a time in a scenario like this. I mean, SVSU, they are looking hot, but we know that SU has the ability, the capability to win here. We've seen them do it in the first game and in game number 3, going back and forth in that sense. We'll just have to see if they can kick it back into gear here in game number 6 and force a game 7.
Yeah, and think about the storyline. If I were out there and I was talking to them, think about the storyline. You drop 2 games in a row. This is the first time that a team has won 2 games in a row for this series, but you force game 7, and then you come back and you win game 7. You make this comeback when you feel down in the dumps. You feel so bad. Like, Kiazi's obviously beating himself up a lot about that miss, but think about the potential. A game 7 win, you take yourself to the finals. You go in with all this confidence, you go in with all of this momentum. You just have to get there. You have to win this next game, and that's the first key.
Yeah, and Joe, our coach Qualark, does a great job at mentally resetting this team, right? Knows, hey, pull them aside, get some fresh air, something like that, and be like, it's fine, right? We can win. They have shown that they can win, but in that game number 5, it was very, very SVSU favored. Very heavy on their side of the field. And a lot of that was to do with the boost starvation and just possession as a whole, right? They were doing a great job at catching the clears that were coming through from SU, winning a lot of those aerial 50-50s to maintain possession of that ball, and just were able to pepper the goal over and over and over again till one finally went in. And that also goes to show the rotation that SVSU was having, right? They had that clockwise rotation coming through. Bobby went in, no. Near went in, no. Camo went in, no. And they're already back in time with more boost. Bobby, Near, Camo, Bobby, Near, Camo, over and over again. And SU were just struggling to keep up with the pace.
Yeah, I mean, something to remind everyone about this is that all 6 of these players are very, very good.
Yeah.
So you can have 30 shots on goal and only 1 might get in. If you're thinking something like your level of Rocket League, you play. If you get like 3 shots on goal, you're probably getting 2 goals. Hopefully. So here, just the amount of shots on goal is the point that you need to hit. Obviously, whoever has more shots on goal usually wins the game. But these players, even though they're very good, they're not perfect. There's shots that are going to go in, even some kind of freebies, some slow balls that go in. But whatever it is, you just have to keep that offensive threat going. And SVSU was just doing this very, very well in that game. It felt like something changed in their rotation. Before we saw that they were kind of struggling on boost as well. Maybe they were playing more reactionary against Shenandoah. They were waiting for them to make a play. And instead this game, they said, no, we're going to take the ball. We're going to triple commit. We trust our rotations. We trust our speed. We trust that we're going to win these 50-50s. And they sent it all out. And you can see based off the goals, they only let up 1 until the very end, obviously, in the last second goal. Even with them doing this full-out attack, everything was working for them. So now they just have to keep it going. You have a 5-minute break, but you have to stay warm. You have to stay hot. They definitely have the hot hand at this moment.
Now we're flying into our hype chamber and possibly the game immediately. The break is done. SU, can you stay alive here? You have to win 2 in a row to advance your way into the grand finals. The winner will play New Mexico State or Southern Nazarene University here for the national championship. But first, you have to win this game. Will SVSU be able to shut the door on SU's future, or will SU fight back and find a comeback in this series. We'll just have to wait and see as Game 6 kicks off 30 seconds in, still scoreless.
Yeah, Game 6 of a best-of-7, and SVSU has to feel good about that first kind of interaction the two teams had. Kiazi was forced to send the ball into his own corner. Obviously, he does not want to do that, but that's kind of Shenandoah just playing on the back foot there. They don't want SVSU to get a free shot on goal, but they also cannot possess it fully. As we see Campbell kind of hit the corner there, we see a clink, but the ball's in the center. There's just nothing to do for Shenandoah. SVSU, unfortunately, the shot goes wide, but still, this offensive pressure. Pagani trying to maintain possession, but gets beyond the 50-50.
Yeah, Mango able to win out that 50-50 midfield as well. Kiazi with some boosts to work with will opt to just push that off into the corner here. Camo now picking up the pace. Kiazi catching that one, a clear far corner there for Shenandoah, but the demo coming through on near might help them out on the offensive side. And just as I say that, is a demo across the board onto Mango. Cross for Kiazi. Angle won't be able to find the goal. That was Pagani, excuse me, on that shot. It was Kiazi with the cross, but just off of that corner, unable to find it. Near now trying to find a pinch cross, but will be unable to do so.
Man, for a moment there, all four members were like, oh, the leading scorers are out, now it's my time to shine. Pagani tried to take it, but just kind of an unfortunate spot, you know, going for that corner, the spot that's really, really hard to save, but it's also really hard to get the ball in there. But here comes Mango. He says, Pagani, you had your fun, now I'm going to go for it, but Bobby says no, absolutely denies the kind of aerial goal, just carrying it in. Beautiful save by him.
Yeah, trying to find that double tap off the post, but won't be able to do so. Excuse me, the crossbar. Mango now trying to find a clear Camo with some boosts to work with. Whiffs on the ball, but so does Kiazi. Thank goodness Pagani is back in time to find that save shot on goal yet again coming through from SVSU. The clear instead is there. Halfway through game number 6, we are still tied at 0. Cross coming through from Pagani. No one following up. Mango finally does, but is stuffed by the defense of SVSU.
Game number 6, do or die for Shenandoah, and you can really see that on Kiazi and Pagani. They just seem like right now they're not either communicating with each other fully or they're not trusting each other fully, because they keep going for these double commit saves that aren't necessary. You know, one person's there, but the other one just keeps coming up. Kiazi has been whiffing a few times here, so you can tell that the stress is getting to him, but you still have 2 minutes left. Tied 0-0, just one goal is all you need to send us to a Game 7 if you're Shenandoah.
Yeah, Kiazi trying to force their way through the defense, but will be unable to do so. Cross coming through from Pagani, but no, it's caught by the defense of SVSU. Kiazi back into the corner. Demo gets traded. Camo and Mango are out. Pagani with the follow-up, but it's going to be near there with the save. Again, back is Camo. A shot from up top. Mango finds it. 1-0 SU, 1:34 to go.
Yeah, man, honestly, I have no idea what I saw there, but the only thing I can tell you is that the cameras look positive for Shenandoah. Pagani and Mango shared a moment during that time of, hey, good work out there. Like, we can come back. We can make it to this Game 7. They just have to keep going. We get a kickoff goal that Mango kickoff that almost goes in Mango's favor, but just goes a little bit wide there. But now Shenandoah has the pressure. They seem to be coming back to life in this moment, Ben.
Mango again with the follow-up. The cross coming through from Kiazi is absolute perfection. Finally, some life in the SU offense. A beautiful touch, a beautiful goal coming through. 2-0 SU. Yeah,
and SVSU was completely starved in that moment. Camo had 15 goal, 15 boosts. Bobby had 8 boosts. They had no potential to make a save there, make a play anyways. And now Shenandoah is continuing this attack. They're up 2, but they're saying that's not enough for us. We need to get 3 or 4 more. And that's their goal. Now we see SVSU get it into the corner, but Kiazi's there to make a save. Pagani now with possession into the corner it goes, but no, it gets pushed back out.
Pagani still in possession, still in position to find an angle. Mango again! Bang! Hat trick for the captain on SU. 3-0 with a minute to go.
And Pagani, man, just being Mango's hype man. He knows how much Mango feeds off of this energy, and Pagani's just trying to provide it. You know, obviously everyone has a role to play in this series. Everyone has a job to do, and even if it's not just scoring. And Pagani has kind of taken himself to be the hype man, the Mango hype man. You know, keep going, keep feeding him the energy, because he will take it and do some beautiful things with it. SVSU down 3 goals with 45 seconds left. They have to do something now.
40 seconds left indeed. Pagani with the dribble wins out on the 50-50 into the corner, finds the cross. No one up from SU. Near trying to find a clear. 30 seconds left. Now Kiazi up top fighting an angle downtown, but no, won't be able to find the connection with Mango, who is going for his 4th in the game. 20 seconds left. Pagani shot on goal. It's Bobby back on the save. A touch coming through from Camo as well, trying to keep up the pace. But with 15 seconds left, you're down 3. It's not looking likely that you win this one.
Yeah, SVSU is trying to play a little bit of possession ball here. Maybe just trying to get one goal to go into Game 7 feeling confident. But it just looks like Shenandoah is not allowing that to happen. This pressure is still coming. Even when the game is done and sealed for this one, they are still trying to go all out. Mango's trying to keep it up. They want to get one more. They just want to kind of put the dagger into this series now. As Shenandoah takes that Game 6, now the momentum is all in their favor. Big ups to Qualark there during the timeout, kind of pulling the team back. And now they can go into this Game 7 feeling very confident. As you can see, Pagani just absolutely locked in. He was hyping Mango up the entire time, every single goal. He said, hey, that's all you, man. You can do this. You can take us to this Game 7. You can take us to this win. And now, Game 7, we have to see what happens.
We have gone the distance, ladies and gentlemen. We go to a game number 7. Mango coming alive heavily in that Game 6. A hat trick, one after the other. No one could stop that man in the middle, the captain. Mango firing on all cylinders thus far, but can they keep it going? Game 7, we have now find ourselves in a best of 1 scenario. Winner goes to Grands, loser goes home.
Yeah, and man, Mango obviously feeling a little jealous there. Near had a hat trick before, had more goals than him in that game. And he said, wait a second, that's not right. I'm not the lead scorer. I'm not doing the most. We got to fix that one. And he really took it upon himself to just do everything right in that moment. Now, going into Game 7, some people that we haven't really heard much from is Kiazi specifically. He had a couple whiffs there, but towards the end, he kind of seemed to light himself back up. He started to feel a little bit more confident. If he can get a goal, if he can start to feel some amount of confidence, they can just run away with the rest of the series. But again, Game 7, all of the stress is coming in now. Everything that's been nagging in the back of your mind of I might go home is very, very real for everyone.
Yeah, now in Game 7, the kickoff going in favor of SVSU. Camo trying to find a cross. Will be able to do so. Kiazi with the touch. Mango, can you get there in time? No. The demo comes. Well, yes, he can. Never mind. A pivot, a drift, if you will. SU first on the board within the first 13 seconds of Game 7.
Man, look at the boost. Bobby had 0 boost, and he had to make that save, so it's very, very awkward. Mango was able to hold himself up, stop the car from going too far past it, and was able to just punch it in. It was beautifully played by him, and Mango just has all of the confidence in the world. He just seems like he knows he's the fastest car in the room. And here we go with Pagani, almost able to get a shot off, or a goal off of the ceiling, but unable to connect. But again, Shenandoah just feels so confident here.
Near had an angle there, but Pagani, with no boost to his name, is able to find that save. Bobby now with another touch midfield off of that far post. A shot on goal yet again coming through. SVSU on the offensive side starting to come alive, but Pagani will not move from that goal. He says, if you want to find a goal, you got to get it past me. And with no boost and a dream, he's able to do it.
Man, that ball was just launched into the opposite corner so fast, which tells for the pace of this game. Everything, this moment matters so much, this next goal. So everyone's going all out so fast. Everyone is, as we see a great save from Mango, but also a great shot from Camo. Again, here comes the second shot. Pagani is there. The pace has changed. Here it goes, getting launched into the other corner. Camo with possession now, looking to send it kind of back. Mango's up for contestant, but unable to get a touch.
Pagani back again on that defensive side of things. Near trying to carry that one into the corner, will do so, but Kiazi is able to find that clear. Kiazi with a shot on goal off the crossbar. Mango with the follow-up. Bang! 2-0 SU!
Man, Mango's just telling his team, hey, if you guys get the ball anywhere near the goal, I am so hot right now, I can just score anything. Kiazi with a great shot there, but it seems like that crossbar is just the plague of his existence, but Mango's there to be the hero that Shenandoah needs in this moment.
SVSU, you have 3.5 to go here. You're down 2. What can you do? Bobby trying to find a cross, but won't be able to connect. Pagani now the one in the air, looking for the cross. The double tap coming through from Mango. Won't be able to find the angle, but Kiazi able to toss it back up on target near there for the save. Instead, off the corner, follow-up again. It's Mango yet again. Give him another hat trick, ladies and gentlemen. 3-0 SU.
Man, a hat trick in 2 minutes here, and it's the same situation again. Pagani gets a good shot on goal, kind of fakes out the goalie, makes them pressure for it because it's so close to going in. But Mango can just read that the ball is not going in. It's getting bounced off the wall, and he's able to commit with it. 3 minutes left, and Mango's looking for another hat trick here.
Yeah, we see the flip reset coming through, a beautiful angle coming through from Near, finally starting to come alive here in game number 7 is SVSU cutting the lead to 2.
Man, Near just kind of looks the same player as Mango in that moment. The ball just sits right in front of his car, and he's able to pop it straight up, and then he feels so confident there. That was a beautifully played goal. You have so many options once you get in the air in that moment. It's you and the ball, and you can do a flip reset, you can do whatever, and a kickoff goal almost goes in, and Pagani's able to just dunk it straight down, wins that 50-50 win. These kickoff goals are absolutely crazy, Ben.
Yeah, Mango almost finds that double tap with the follow-up coming through from Pagani. Camo unable to get back in time, finds a touch, but sends it right into the net. 4-1 now, 3 minutes to go. Can SU hold on?
Yeah, 2:55 left in this game, up 4-1. These kickoffs are just so important here. Mango going up. Pagani's able to get the touch, but Bobby is able to bounce the ball straight down. There's a beautiful save from him, but also a really, really good idea from Shenandoah. Now, we have a bit of a moment to breathe. Ball back in the corner. Pagani taking it out. Here comes Camo, sending it straight forward for Bobby, but Kiazi's there. An excellent read from him.
2.5 to go, halfway through game number 7. Mango with some momentum, but no boost to work with to follow up on the self pass. SVSU, you're down 3. You have to find something, and you have to find something fast. But SU, after that timeout, look like a completely different team. Mango looking like a completely different player. Shot on goal, a backflip. That's not the direction you want to go. 5-0 SU.
Yeah, SCSU, man, they're feeling the pressure. You hate to see that backflip. Obviously he's just trying to go up, but it's just a slight misinput. And that just shows how important this game means to everyone. Game 7 to punch your ticket to grand finals, and SVSU is crumbling under the pressure.
Crumbling indeed. 2 minutes to go here. You're down 4 Near with an opportunity to find a cross, but unable to find any purchase with that one. Pinch now middle of the field. Kiazi with a shot off the crossbar. No one following up. Well, yes, someone was following up. That was Pagani there in the air, but unable to connect on that one is those two players. 1.5 minutes. Camo up in the air looking for a double tap of their own. Will find it, but it goes straight back up in the air. Does not find the goal. Let's see if SVSU can make this one a close one. They're down 4.
Yeah, SVSU down 4 is just looking for a cataclysm. Mango was that cataclysm for them. Kind of brought the energy back, and now SVSU desperately needs it. Camo and Near are both trying to make these hero plays, but Shenandoah's defense is just relentless. It seems like every single time there's a shot on goal, someone's back with full boost now. Kiazi into the corner. Bobby's able to punch it back out, but here comes Pagani again. This 3-way attack, every single person's there. Now Shenandoah, it seems like Mango didn't commit there. Maybe they're holding up a little bit, up 4 with 1 minute left. Now they're saying, okay, defense time.
1 minute left to go. Indeed, Kiazi back up in the air. They're up 4. Defense is the name of the game for SU to punch their ticket to grands. Can they keep the momentum going? Can they keep the defense up? Right now, it's looking likely. Might as well keep the offense up as a shot comes on target from Mango. Pagani trying to follow up on the double tap. Mango again from the corner, unable to find it.
Man, defense is the best offense, or offense is the best defense, excuse me. Shenandoah even up 4 with 30 seconds left. They're going to send everything they have at them. Keep peppering the goal with shots, because then at that point, SVSU has no boost to come back. 20 seconds left. If you don't get a goal in the next 5 seconds here, the game is all but done.
10 seconds remaining, a 4-goal lead here for SU as the seconds tick away. It's likely, it's certain, it is decided that SVSU's season is done. They had match point. It all crumbles away. The ball still up in the air. They finish it with the goal, but not the way they wanted to. SU punches their ticket to grand finals.
Man, grand finals indeed, and you can see the energy from Kiazi, but not from Mango or Pagani. They're kind of living in the moment. They're like, wow, we just did that. We just came back. The storyline kind of developed. But if you think about it, a bad situation to be in. Down 2 games, but able to come back. Obviously, Mango thinking about that a lot. Thinking about, man, we almost lost there. That's something that we have to fix going into the grand finals. And I love to see that from him as the captain. Even in these incredible highs, he's always thinking about what needs to be done next, what needs to be done in the future. And I would love to hear from Kolek specifically, because he completely changed everything about this series. Whatever he said at Game 5 during that halftime, I would love to hear it personally, because that seemed like the most enlightening moment for this team. That's exactly what they needed in the moment.
Yeah, and Mango unlocked in Game 6 and Game 7. Hat trick immediately in Game 6. Comes back in Game 7. What does he do? He does it again. 4 goals instead for Mango, I believe it was, in Game number 7. Unbelievable reignition of this team. They finally came alive, facing that series point. SVSU, they looked so good all series long, but in those last 2 games, something fell apart. I don't know what it was, but they were unable to find any of the offensive power that they were able to in the first half of this series.
Yeah, and I mean, when every single player is so good, there's very little things that separate the players in terms of skill level, and the biggest one is your ability to handle stress and to be able to cope with mistakes. They had a couple of mistakes, SVSU did, but the biggest thing was when it came down to Game 6 and they're saying, oh my gosh, we're about to go to grand finals, your heart starts pumping a little bit, and they are unable to finish it out. They just cannot cope with that pressure. And when you think about what you need to do to become a better team, a better player, whatever, you have to put yourself in those stressful situations. You have to think about every single scrim is a Game 7 to go to grand finals, because this only comes once in a while. You can't always prep for this moment, but clearly Shenandoah, specifically Mango, is ready for it. He has cultivated his body, his brain to deal with that stress and just absolutely pop off.
Yeah, I mean, an unbelievable Game 6 and Game 7. And after that Game 6, I mean, SVSU probably found themselves like, whoa, what on earth just happened during that timeout? Because Mango was firing on all cylinders in that one. I mean, everyone on the side of SU started to come alive. Kiazi fighting his way out of those corners, finding those crosses, those setups for Mango, for Pagani, doing the same thing on defense. Pagani, an absolute wall in the goal in Game 6 and Game 7. Props to the team, but hey, don't just hear it from us. Let's hear it from the winners of this series. Kevin is standing by with Pagani for an interview. Welcome back, everyone.
The wall was not ready to talk.
The wall was silent. I don't know. I guess walls can't really talk.
Yeah.
So I guess that kind of makes sense.
Our fault,
brick
I think.
wall. Yeah, I think. Yeah, that's on us. That's me. I definitely should not have called him a wall.
Yeah,
I guess
he was fully locked into the role playing concept of I'm a wall. I'm like, especially
I'm a wall?
Kevin
Yeah,
too. I
Yeah.
guess Kevin did not want to talk either.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if we. Yeah. During the game, I wonder if he did talk. That makes me very curious. Yeah, I was like, I am wall, no goals will pass me, and I will find crosses. That is what I will do. Hey, the interview should be ready right now. I think we drew, I don't know, got some chalk or something, put a little mouth on the wall, something like that. But we'll toss it back over to Kevin, who is standing by for the interview.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Gavin and Ben. So sorry for the technical difficulties, but with all of that aside, I am joined by our victors here today. Shenandoah University wins this match of semifinals, and I gotta ask, how are you feeling right now?
Yeah, definitely pretty excited to go into grand finals. It's not something that you see a team from Shenandoah University, especially Rocket League, at that, go to grand finals, and it's just, we're good to be here. We're just having a good time.
Awesome. I gotta ask, going into this series, we saw a bit of a back and forth, and after Series 5, we saw a quick break between both sides, 5 minutes, kind of getting a refresh. Kind of what was going through the players' minds? What were y'all getting ready for so that you could clinch the series back at the end?
Yeah, I think we were just really nervous, so we kind of just went outside, kind of step away from the computer, step away from the game, and kind of just get ourselves cool, calm, and collected again so we can go into the next game just ready to come back.
I love to hear that, and cool, calm, and collected you definitely were, as you were able to take back the series in a pretty commanding fashion at that. It was beautiful to see. I gotta ask, now that you are heading into grand finals, how are you and the team going to take what you learned from this match and try to bring it into the grand finals for the title in this division?
Yeah, so I think we're really just going to kind of just go into the game how we've always been going into the grand finals, honestly. We just kind of play our game. I think today we were a little off and kind of nervous. I don't know why, but we were a little nervous. But again, we're just kind of going into it, just having fun. That's what this team's all about. We all just have fun together, and it's just a great time.
And fun for not only the team, for all of us out here. Thank you so much for that interview. We will pass it back over to Ben and Gavin to close things out. Guys, take it away.
Calm, cool, collected indeed, much like a wall is on a very dreamy fall afternoon or evening. You know, falls between 50, 55 degrees, very cool brick on your hand or side of face, whatever you're doing with the wall. I don't know. Yeah.
Embracing the wall, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe you have some sort of strong connection with it. But man, just going out and having fun like they always do, it's good to see from them. You know, they feed off of each other's energy, off of each other's vibes, and in that moment, you know, the wall had some amount of emotion in that series, clearly, because boy, did they take away what should have been a loss, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, an unbelievable series, a great comeback from the team. They now await the winner of New Mexico State and Southern Nazarene University. The 4 seed in Southern Nazarene and the 9 seed in New Mexico State will await them in that grand finals. That'll happen next Thursday, I believe, a week from today. So you will want to turn on your notification bells, subscribe, like, whatever you do to get the notification on that one. And even before that, whoa, wait, there's Smash Bros. On Tuesday. Grand finals against UNCG, University of North Carolina, Greensboro. Very, very tough opponent in that one. So please make sure to like, subscribe, do whatever you feel to support us here at Shenandoah University. Congratulations to the boys. Congratulations to Saginaw Valley State University as well, performing and playing their hearts out in that series. Congratulations to you all. I've been Ben Kincaid, this is Gavin Eldridge, and we will see you next time.
Shenandoah University is a big little university rising.
With 22 Division III sports teams, over 200 areas of study,
over 300 annual performances, an elite academic esports program,
nationally ranked health professions programs, one of the biggest university presences on Broadway,
immersive AR and VR learning programs,
cybersecurity and computer science programs, and innovative undergrad and graduate programs.
all at a place that cares for you.
Shenandoah University is the big little university rising. Find out more at su.edu/rising.
We have the Esports Arena right here on campus in Winchester, Virginia, and this facility acts as the hub for all esports activity at Shenandoah University. Students are able to use this space not just for competition and practices, but also as a living learning community and a sandbox for them to come and explore and practice and try out things related to and through esports in the gaming industry, so that they're getting that hands-on learning and the skills necessary to help them find a career by the time they graduate. We also have the professional level broadcast production booth, where we do all of our broadcasting and production, from casting of our games that we play right here on campus to working with outside entities to record footage for them as well. In addition to the space that we have here in the Esports Arena is the Esports War Room. Our students get to use that space for studying, but also outside projects. So our students get to use this space for professional development and the academic side of our esports program, which is such a critical component to go with that competitive element that we have. So we combine all of our facilities at Shenandoah University with competition, community, and career preparation. We have over 250 days of programming, and there's something for everybody, and we want you to be part of it.